Welcome to the new episode, guys. Today, we're going to be stretching with a yoga ball. Now, I don't know how to stretch with a yoga ball, so we're going to do some research. I heard it was really good to open up your hips, get that hip mobility. Your boys' hips are super tight, so if you guys want to join me on a quick stretching session, you guys are more than welcome to join. Now, I'm no instructor. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm watching somebody else who knows what they're doing and then implementing it for myself. So you guys are free to join. Now, let's get to the stretching session. All right, we got to work on some stretching, bro. This is the second episode or second segment of Stretching with Zoe, and we're going to try to stay as consistent as we can just because stretching is going to be a key to the process here. So right here we have a video from Firas, Zahabi, explaining how to stretch with a yoga ball. So I'm going to do my best to attempt this stretch and start to implement it into our stretching routine. Had a pretty chill day today. Just wanted to come here, talk to you guys, say what's up. If you guys have any questions down below or anything that you want me to check out, leave it down below in the comments. But let's get to some stretching. Let's go.
Okay, this jiu-jitsu stretch, it's all about being gentle, okay? We're building flexion in our hip, and the better the flexion in your hip, the more protected your knee is, okay? This position that you see my leg in, you're often in this position when you're doing jiu-jitsu, you're trying to re-guard. My partner's trying to pass my guard, and I'm re-guarding. I'm gonna find myself in this position quite often. I need to build strength in this position and mobility, okay? So you could see that I'm putting a small amount of weight on my leg here, and I'm just stretching out, but I'm also pushing into the ball. My right leg is pushing into the ball. I'm supporting my knee with my right hand, see? Like this, and I'm supporting my ankle with my left hand. I'm making sure that my knee joint is protected. I'm supporting my knee, and I'm balancing here. You can see that I'm on my left toes. I'm gonna give you guys a better angle here. I'm on my left toes here, and I'm just doing a static hold. I'm catching my balance, and once I've caught my balance, I start moving around just a little bit. Okay, I'm moving around just a little bit. I'm working my hip. If my hip is nice and flexible, it's gonna take a lot of stress off my knee when I find myself in these positions in jiu-jitsu, okay? Oftentimes I find myself in this position in jiu-jitsu, and I need to make sure, here I'm gonna adjust the angle here, I need to make sure that I'm not only very mobile in this position, I'm also very strong in this position. You see me pushing with my leg into the ball and creating an isometric hold with my hip and leg here, okay? I'm gonna rotate here, give you guys a different angle. I'm gonna switch leg. That gave me a really nice deep stretch. Okay, I'm throwing my leg over. I'm often in this position when people are trying to pass my guard. The more flexible and strong I am in this position, the harder it is for my partner to pass my guard. It becomes very, very difficult to pass my guard. This is a very, very important mobility trait that you need to have for jiu-jitsu. Okay, it's super, super important. It also makes taking takedowns much harder. If a guy's very flexible in this manner and I have a single leg on him and I try to bring him down to the ground, oftentimes this type of flexibility allows them to hip heist, free their legs, okay, turn their knees to the mat. You'll see me, I'm playing with different ranges here. I'm gonna put my knee down on the mat, move away from the ball, and kind of change the angle here. And slowly, very important, I'm supporting my foot with my right hand. I'm supporting my knee with my left hand, never allowing any of the stress to go on the knee joint. It's really a hip issue here. I'm working the hip, isometric hold. I'm getting on top of the ball, creating some instability here, catching my balance here, very important exercise. And this is a stretch for both hips. You'll notice, I'm just gonna take the weight off my left leg here. I'm stretching this hip, but also the trail hip, the hip that's in the back. Let me rotate here. If you don't have this type of mobility and you try to do jiu-jitsu, you can really injure your knee, okay? You can really get hurt. It's very important that I have a nice mobility in my hip, especially this specific mobility, okay? Now, I did my 90-degree stretch towards the front side. And now, once I've done that for a few minutes, make sure to do both legs evenly. I'm gonna do the opposite side. Okay, so now I'm stretching out my right leg, okay? I have the 90-degree here and the 90-degree here. This is what Kelly Starrett calls the 90-90. And now I'm just kind of stretching my leg in the opposite way. Okay, now I'm stretching my right leg here. I'm just creating a little bit of mobility. This is a position that I don't often find myself in jiu-jitsu, so it's not as important. But nonetheless, it's complementary, okay, to this movement here when I'm in the guard, like this, okay? It's very complementary. When I'm in the guard, I'm always defending guard in this position. I'm gonna do the other side. I'm just basically stretching the opposite muscles. I'm in the 90-90 position here, and I'm stretching that opposite muscle here. Being very gentle, guys. Being gentle is the key. If you're too rough on your joints, you're gonna get less flexible. okay? You're gonna wear them out. It's all about increasing their mobility gently over time and increasing their strength gently over time. This exercise is fantastic for building strength and mobility, okay? I'm just gonna repeat a very important detail. I don't wanna do it without supporting my knee and ankle. I want support on my knee and ankle, okay? I'm making sure that the stress is on my hip and never on my knee, okay? So when I'm underneath somebody and I'm pummeling my legs in jiu-jitsu, I have the knee mobility, I have the hip mobility to protect my knee. If you have poor hip mobility, the stress is gonna end up on your knee and you can tear your LCL, you can injure yourself, okay? Let's give it a try.
That was actually pretty fire. So definitely going to start using this yoga ball stretch some more. Also wanted to check out that stretch that David Goggins talks about. It says he stretches for over 2 hours a day. I'm not sure. I'm going to do some quick research real quick if there's any video of him stretching. But yeah, dude, underrated. I don't know if your boy's going to be doing any yoga classes anytime soon, but I feel like, you know, being tight, no one wants to be tight, you know? I mean, sounds cool to be tight, but like no one really wants to, you know, not have any flexibility. And we're gonna start implementing some stuff. Don't want to add too much to our plate, you know, since we got jiu-jitsu, working out and stuff. But stretching should be a good staple of ours. And you know, we should hold each other accountable, you know, to be able to stretch and do the cardio and all the stuff that needs to be done. So I'm gonna do some quick research real quick, and if I find the stretch that David Goggins likes to do, I'll show it in the video as well. With that, definitely interested in more stretching, you know, kind of routines and forms and stuff. So we'll play around with this and have fun with it. But let's see.
What is your stretching routine?
Okay. My stretching routine. So basically, they're very simple stretches, and a lot of people who read the book, they believe that I got this routine from this guy named Joe. Joe turned me on to stretching. I had to make up a stretching routine that fit my lifestyle and fit my tightness. So I do simple, very simple quad stretch. So you know how people sit down and they pray. I believe Muslims pray a lot on their knees and their heels and their butt touch. My heels were off my butt by probably about this much when I first started. So I sit in that for about 20 minutes at a time. And when I get to about, you know, a pain level of 6, 7, I come out of it. So, but I make sure to do it 20 minutes, not straight, but 20 minutes in the stretch. That's one of them. Another one is a very simple Indian stretch where most kids, most grown-ups can just sit Indian style across their legs. My damn knees were like this. So I had to get my back up against the wall. And it took me years to even get to the point where I can get my knees out. So I do a lot of psoas stretching. Everything I do is very basic, opening up my hips. But what I found out, though, is opening up my quads. My quads were so damn tight that caused a whole bunch of stuff to be off. So once my quads opened up, a lot of other things opened up also.
I'm here right now. After I leave here, I'm going to go home and stretch out for 2 hours.
Okay.
I stretch for 2 hours. I've done this, and that's in my book also. The last chapter I talk about it. I got real sick, long story short. Stretching out has really helped out my psoas muscle.
Okay.
That psoas muscle attaches to your T12. There's a lot of nerve endings going through
What's
there.
the psoas muscle? Where is that?
It's your hip flexors.
Oh.
So all of us who sit down like I'm sitting down right now,
right.
whenever you're in that fight or flight mode, let's say you're driving your car and the car's coming to hit you, you get that tense. So my childhood all the way up till now, it's been this squeezing. So about 6 years ago, I got to the point where I couldn't get out of bed. The docs couldn't figure anything out, nothing out with me. And I had this huge lump on the back of my head from my spine being compressed. I had these huge lumps on my hip flexor muscle, psoas area.
Right.
And it's the only muscle that attaches your lower body to your upper body.
Okay.
And I just slowly started stretching out. I said, I'm going to probably die. The docs couldn't figure it out. I was slowly dying. It was literally collapsing. Like there was no blood flow to organs of my body from all the stress in my entire life. Started stretching out. I was on all these medications. 6 years later,
no meds.
I'm on one medication.
Really?
All right, I'm gonna pause real quick. I'm gonna continue to listen to this David Goggins video. Kind of just found it on YouTube. Like I said, you search something up on YouTube, you're more than likely to find it. So he recommended just like holding a stretch right here, and I'm like this a lot of times in jiu-jitsu class. You know, we get to sit down, not really keeping our backs against the wall. And at first, I really struggled getting my heels to my butt. You know, when you're sitting in closed guard, you're in somebody's guard, you need to have your weight down. You don't want to be leaning forward. You know, they'll be able to control your posture. So if you're able to stand up straight and keep a strong base, that would help. So whenever I get the chance, I try to keep my knees right here. And it does hurt. It hurts a lot, actually. So I do have to get up at times. But, I mean, if this is a stretch that helps a lot, then we're going to continue to gradually just work on it. So I'm going to hold this stretch while we listen to this video. But thank you guys for watching today's episode. I really appreciate you guys. If you guys like videos like this where, you know, I'm sharing some of the stuff that I'm learning along the way, trust me, guys, there's so many people to learn from. There's so many things out there. And, you know, kind of just compressing some of the information, adding a little bit, and just sharing my thoughts, implementing this stuff. Maybe it could help one of you guys out there. So that's why we're doing it. So thank you guys. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. We're going to go train, film a podcast, and kill it. So thank you guys for watching. Talk to you guys tomorrow.